It's been a while, but the hot takes are back. And this time, we have got some scalding, spicy, juicy MLB offseason hot takes for you guys. If you don't know the drill, I put out a tweet on my Twitter, at GiraffeNeckMarc. Link is in the description. Tweet me your MLB offseason hot takes for a chance to be featured on the next episode of Buy or Sell. And that's exactly what we're doing today, so let's get right into this and start talking about some of your guys' hot takes. This one comes from Sermia78. Verlander gets 3 years, $86 million player option after 1 year from Baltimore. I don't think he's going to sign with Baltimore. The money for Verlander is going to be really interesting this offseason because he is coming off of a most likely Cy Young season, and everyone knows he is the fine wine. He only gets better with age, but 3 years, $86 million is a lot for a guy coming off Tommy John who did look awful in the World Series. I think he's probably worth it in a vacuum. I think he's probably got some years that are still left in him that will be very good, but I don't think it's going to be coming from the Orioles, and I don't think it's going to be at that price. There's just other pitchers that you can target right now for similar value, or even less value, honestly. I think we'll be able to be just as good, if not better. So Verlander's still very good, but I'm going to be selling this take. Okay, I've been seeing this one everywhere, and I don't know where this is coming from, but it has to do with trading Ronald Acuna Jr., which I can tell you is not happening, but let's go ahead and read this. Isaiah Bryant, Acuna does get traded for a young shortstop to replace Dansby, and the Braves signed Benny and Jock to replace him in the corners. Sell, 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 sell 1,000,000%. There's no way the Braves trade Ronald Acuna. If he plays like he did last year, which was like Mark Canha level, on the 8-year, $100 million contract, he's still very much worth it. I think the Mets pay like Mark Canha like $10, $12 million a year. And we also know that's probably the worst Ronald Acuna is going to play. Up until last year, he had been performing like one of the 5, maybe 10 best players in all of Major League Baseball. There is no world where the Braves are going to trade Ronald Acuna Jr. for a young shortstop unless that young shortstop is Wander Franco, and even then, probably just keep Ronald Acuna. I mean, the dude is 24 years old. He turns 25 in December. You don't move this guy. There's no way, unless you know something is extremely wrong with his knees and body. How do you move Ronald Acuna? That is one of the most team-friendly contracts in baseball, and it's for a guy who's going to be an MVP candidate for the next, 7, 8 years? No way. Absolutely not. Sell. I've also been seeing this link to a Bichette trade. Why would the Braves do that? Next hot take comes from Zach. He says, Texas makes multiple huge moves once again this offseason. My prediction is they get vast improvements to the pitching staff en route to an 80-plus win season. I'm going to buy this one. I think the Rangers are going to be a sneaky good team going into the 2023 season. They've been linked to Jacob deGrom, who says he would play in Texas, apparently. That's what's being said. I think they've been linked to Carlos Rodon, who I think could be a good fit there. There's a lot of good pitching available on the market this year where they can take advantage. They can make improvements to that pitching staff right now in the offseason. They can go and maybe look for some trades even. They have a really, really good farm system. And with Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, Adolis Garcia, Nathaniel Lowe, Jonah Heim looked really good behind the plate. I might be missing a guy or two. Josh Young's going to be playing third base. They're in a scenario where they can be a sneaky competitive team, and with the expanded playoffs, 100%. Buying this 1,000,000%. I think the Rangers have another big offseason with Bruce Bochy at the helm. They could be a playoff team with the right moves, of course. Good one, Zach. I like that. Cameron Kien? I think maybe, I don't know. I'm thinking it's like Ozzie Guillen, but with a Q, so it'd be like Kien. Phillies trade Rhys Hoskins for a starting pitcher and sign Trey Mancini. I buy and sell this one. I don't think they're going to sign Trey Mancini. I don't think that really makes sense to get another guy who truly is just going to be like Rhys Hoskins, if not worse. Rhys Hoskins is still kind of good. As much as I hate the guy, I think he's actually a good first baseman in terms of the offensive side. Defensively, he's a butcher. But I can see the Phillies trading him. I don't know if they get a true starting pitcher of value because, again, Rhys Hoskins is a first baseman DH essentially, and there's just not a whole lot that you get for those kind of players. But there's a world where Rhys Hoskins gets traded this offseason. You move Alec Boehm to first base. That makes a lot of sense to me. So I kind of buy and I kind of sell this one. Sorry for the cop-out, but it's a little all over the place when you're giving me these multiple kind of buy or sell takes, and I like the question. Casey Cotreau, Yankees will be a sub-500 team. Pains me to even write this as a Yankees fan. As much as I would love to get the Yankee wheels turning and get people mad in the comments, you guys keep receipts. I'm going to have to sell this one. I think it's going to be really, really hard for the Yankees to be sub-500 just because that involves them losing 82 out of 162 games, and that's just something I don't think I've seen in my lifetime. Literally since the day I've born, I don't think they've finished below 500. Losing Aaron Judge would be huge, but I think if they do lose Aaron Judge, you're going to see them go after maybe one of the big shortstops, and then you can use some of the prospects in your farm system to put a package together to make a trade for a guy. If they lose Aaron Judge, I could see them going after Brandon Nimmo hard, which would be a big improvement to that team as well. I think it's going to be really, really difficult with their pitching, with their bullpen, to finish below 500. I mean, still at the end of the day, you got Garrett Cole, Nestor Cortez, Luis Severino as your 1, 2, 3, and that is a really solid 1, 2, 3 in baseball. So yeah, I don't don't think the Yankees will finish sub 500. I'm selling this take as much as I would love to see this happen. It would be one of the great things that could happen next year. Thank you for the good one, Casey, though. That's a fun conversation. See, look, here it is again. Daniel Anderson, Bo Bichette, and Gabriel Martinez are traded for Ronald Acuna Jr. Why is this the rumor? Why is this the thing? There's no way that happens. No way. And if it does, you can come back to this video, tell me I'm a stupid idiot face. I'll give away a Ronald Acuna Blue Jays jersey if he gets traded to the Blue Jays this offseason, to somebody. I'll have it signed even. Who cares? It's not happening. Baseball Productions, the Mets are going to get DeGrom back, sign Trey Turner, spelled incorrectly, and get Rodon. Yeah, as much as I would love this scenario to happen as a diehard Mets fan, as I'm also wearing a Red Sox shirt, this is a big sell. I'm super nervous that the Mets are not even going to get Jacob DeGrom back. I do think they're probably in play for Carlos Rodon. I think they're less in play for Trey Turner. If I had to rank it, I think DeGrom is probably the most likely, then Rodon, then Trey Turner, but I don't feel great. I think DeGrom's going to go to Texas or Atlanta, so I sell this as much as I would love to buy it. I think they get one. I think they can get one of these three, but I don't think they get all three. Steve Cohen's got money, but he's not like an actual lunatic, I don't think. Also, shout out to Uncle Steve. If you guys don't know, I host the Mets Dub podcast, official podcast for the Mets. Link in description. Go check it out if you're a Mets fan. ZJW, Red Sox trade for Brian Reynolds and get Chris Bassett. Ooh, I really like this one. I'm gonna buy it. Brian Reynolds makes sense there. They need a center fielder. He's young. I think the Pirates are probably getting ready to move on from Brian Reynolds, even though he's a part of this future build. If you can get a lot of value out of him, I think it's probably the right time to move, just because you are realistically probably at least 2 seasons away from competing for a playoff spot, and I think that's if everything goes like sort of right for you. And the Red Sox do have some prospects. You could check in on some guys. I think they have some people that would be of interest. I don't think they would have the best package for the Pirates, but yeah, sure, Brian Reynolds to the Red Sox. I could see him out in Fenway. That makes sense. And Chris Bassett feels like a guy who'd be a great Red Sox pitcher, feels like a guy who would fit in Fenway a lot. I really hope my Mets bring him back, but I do think that this is a realistic offseason that is like a good wish list one that the Red Sox could have, especially with Jarren Duran not looking as good as you'd hoped. I could see this. I like this take. This is a fun one, ZJW. Good one. Bye. Tyler Jackson. Angels end up trading Ohtani just for him to go to another small market team like the Orioles or Mariners. I'm going to sell this one, but for only one reason. And the reason being I'm selling this is because I'm pretty sure Shohei Ohtani has a no trade clause, and it seems like the teams that he would accept are all going to be big markets. Like, no offense to Baltimore or Seattle, but I don't think Shohei Ohtani, maybe Seattle just because of Ichiro. I think that's more realistic maybe, but I don't think he would go to Baltimore even though they have a ton. I think he probably wants to be in a major market just to maximize, the kind of player he is and the kind of spending and how much he can get paid. Shohei wants to be a mega superstar. He already is. Being in a place like Baltimore, as much as he would still be a superstar, he wouldn't be the mega star that he could be in a New York or staying in an LA, maybe even with the Dodgers, even going to Chicago. Like, that's another big-ish market. I don't think he'd go to a small market team, especially if that no trade clause is true, which I'm pretty sure it is. Nick the Flick. Reds are contenders next year, playoff minimum, and both Votto and India bounce back in a big way. I'm going to sell all of this. Not necessarily that I don't think India or Votto can bounce back. This Reds team is not even close, I think, to being a playoff contender the way it's currently built. Now, some moves during free agency, getting in some veterans, getting in some actual solid Major League Baseball players will help. Call me shocked if the Reds make the postseason next year. They have a lot of young talent, and I know it's coming. Just doesn't feel like it's ready. And especially on the pitching side, I think it's going to be really hard to get those guys maximum potential by next year, especially in that ballpark, and the fact that the team's just not very good. So, Reds, I'm rooting for you. I don't like your owner, so I'm not rooting for him, but I'm rooting for you fans because you guys are loyal. I just don't think you're going to be a contender, especially in the playoffs next year. Sell. Hunter PT2. Cubs sign Abreu Senga, being Kodai Senga. If you don't know about him, he's the next big pitcher coming from Japan, and one of the 4 top free agent shortstops, which is surely Trey Turner, Carlos Correa, Xander Bogaerts, Dansby Swanson. I'm actually going to buy this one. I think the Cubs are going to be buyers this offseason. I know there's been some rumors that maybe they won't, maybe they're not going to spend. I think they're going to. I think you're going to see the Cubs and the Ricketts finally dig into those deep little pockets of theirs. I mean, they got money. They're looking to buy Liverpool. They've got that much money. I could totally see this happening. Like, I think Abreu's a pretty good chance to go to the Cubs. Kodai Senga, I think, has a pretty good chance to go to the Cubs, and I think they are going to look to get one of those big shortstops. Now, Nico Horner looked great last year, and he looked like he could be a real good shortstop, but I say this about the Yankees, I say this about every team, even when the Mets have been linked to Trey Turner in those fake rumors, essentially, you get good players, and then you worry about where you put them later. So, if you get a guy like Xander Bogaerts or a Carlos Correa, and you're like, oh no, what about Nico Horner? You'll find places for these guys to play. It will not be an issue. I buy this take. I like it a lot. Let's do 2 more here. 2 more takes. Okay, this one comes from Dodger Man Games. 2023 is Cody Bellinger's last last year as a Dodger. Here's why I'm going to sell this one, because I think Cody Bellinger doesn't get tendered. I think we might have just saw the last year he plays with the Los Angeles Dodgers. I think Cody Bellinger is going to be cut or traded. Whatever it is, I don't think he'll be playing for the Los Angeles Dodgers in the 2023 season. I think they've kind of just ran out of time with him. They've tried it all. He's not getting any better. He's not making any improvements. Doesn't seem like he's changing. He had the MVP year and then changed his stance and swing, which was absolutely brain dead to me. I can't even wrap my head around that thought process, and he's stunk ever since. So I think he's already done with the Dodgers. You've probably seen him play his last game in the blue and white. Cody Bellinger is gonzo. Sell. Last and final one from Evan Stahl. The Cardinals will not sign any of the big name shortstops and instead go with Paul DeJong. I buy that they won't sign any of the major shortstops. I sell that it's going to be Paul DeJong. I actually thought there was a chance that Paul DeJong had a good second half of the season. Boy, oh boy, was I wrong. Paul DeJong had a unbelievably historically bad year in the 200 at-bats he had. He was 33 for 210 with a 530 OPS plus a 53. This is crazy. You put this guy against the Mets and he's friggin' Barry Bonds. You put him against everybody else and I don't know what happened to him, but he's looking awful. He struck out 79 of the 237 plate appearances. My, oh my. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be in the market for a shortstop, honestly. I mean, I think they're going to be in the market. I don't think they get one. Not that I think Mason Wynn is ready to start opening day, but Mason Wynn has looked good and I think could be their shortstop of the future, and I think they're kind of okay with that. I don't know. The Cardinals have made some big trades for some big guys the last few off seasons, you know, getting a Nolan Arenado, getting a Paul Goldschmidt. I don't know if they're going to do that for shortstop. They might just rock with who they got, and I really don't see them landing any of the big free agents. I think Trey Turner's probably the best one, or the best case scenario for them. But the other guys, I don't see there. It's just my personal take, though. I'd love to know what you guys are thinking down in the comments below. And yeah, so the first hot take, buy or sell of the MLB offseason. It's the first time I've done it in a long time. I missed it. Buy or sell is a fun series. I hope you guys are enjoying it, because the next buy or sell is going to be taken from this YouTube comment section. So if you want to get involved in the next episode, make sure you get in the comment section down below. Drop your hot takes for me down there, and I will react to them in the next buy or sell. Make sure you are following me on all my social media at GiraffeNeckMarc, because we are going to be doing buy or sells all year long, all off season, and they're going to be on a variety of my social media. So you need to make sure you're following me on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is, at GiraffeNeckMarc. Links in description. If you did enjoy this video, drop a like on it. It really does help support the channel, as well as don't forget to click the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the content coming at you. That's where I'll wrap up today's video. You guys know the drill from here on out. YouTube recommends you watch this video. This is my most recent upload. Click through those if you have not yet seen them. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow for another video.